When I fell to the ground, at first I thought it was an ordinary pit. But as soon as I lit the torch, there were human bones under my feet. Then I realized for the first time that I may have come to the wrong place. I am 24 years old, and my name is. I don't believe in things that people are afraid of. It means going somewhere. It happened to me. I didn't see anything, but there was something there, because I've heard so many stories. But this has happened to all the people. But where there was an incident with the people, if I went, nothing would have happened to me. Then one day, a boy from the settlement told me, "Look, on the news, the boy went to this forest. He has gone mad. He saw something terrible." I said, "Well, I'll go to that forest too." It was 42 miles away. When I went to this place in the evening, because this boy was also mentioned in the evening, he went. So I had to go in the evening. I picked up my valuables and went to the forest. Everything seemed fine to me. But as soon as I walked 100 meters, I felt like someone was walking with me. But I was, and what would that be? When I stopped, the sound stopped. Then I intentionally ran. Then I felt like I was behind. It's like something is running with me. Then I stopped, and another thing frightened me. I look up at the trees. All the leaves of the trees are falling down. There was no wind in this forest, and the leaves of the trees falling down, it was not a good thing. That was the only thought in my heart. So long I turned on the torch, looked around, but I didn't see anything else. I was alone, so I felt a little scared, even though I had been to a more dangerous place before, but I was definitely a little scared. That's the thing, I didn't feel anything. But this forest felt different from all the other places. Then I retraced my steps to leave the forest in peace. As I took the first step, there was a big hole underneath which I fell. The pit was large, but you did not show it to me, for the leaves of the trees were on the ground. The hole was so deep I couldn't get out of it. Then I looked in my bag, but there was nothing that would help me get out. Then I turned on my torch once more and began to examine the entire pit. Then I saw under my feet, as it were, the bones of men. It's happened to many people before, but when? No one knows. Then I wonder how the boy with the news will survive. I don't know if he went into this hole like me or if it happened to me. Then I see a rope made of the leaves of a tree came towards me. As I grabbed her, she pulled away from me. Then when I came out of the pit, I saw that the rope made of leaves was missing. Then I see there is no big pit behind me. Although I looked far ahead of me, I did not see the pit. Then I ran back the way I had come, and the leaves of the trees were falling on me so much I couldn't even run properly, like all those leaves I want to press inside me. Then finally came out my friend, who was with me, was also missing from his place. I looked all over the place where I had brought him, but I did not find a friend. I called out his name, but there was no answer. I called him again, but there was no network in my mobile. Then I was even more frightened. Then I ran to the car. The car was 1.5 miles away from us because it was a short way. Cars could not come here. Then I ran to the car's place. I see my friend was not even there, but now there were signals in my mobile. I called my friend. He didn't pick up the first call. After a while, a friend called me. "Where are you, right?" I asked. "Where are you?" "I'll tell you what happened," he said. "I'm the crazy one. Came with you into the forest." Then I met my friend on the road 5 kilometers ahead. I put my friend in the car. He said to his friend, "Oh, madman, I went into the forest and ran away." Then I was surprised and disturbed by the story my friend tells me. It was bad for him, too. Although I did not tell my friend the whole incident, otherwise he would have considered me a coward. The friend said to me about himself, "When you go into the forest, maybe 2 minutes later, I see something was holding me back. I sat there with my head down and my shirt tucked behind me. Look at the condition of my shirt. Then I heard the sound of something approaching. I ran from there, but the sound followed me until I reached this highway road. I called your number again, but it was turned off. Then I started having bad thoughts about you. Maybe you'll never come back from this forest." I laughed at my friend's words, saying, "Now there is a limit to lies. You must have torn this shirt from your own back. I understand your tricks. You're telling me all this to scare me. Let's say it too. Something bad happened to me too. But when I went to the forest, I didn't feel anything. I spent more than an hour in the woods. My friend looked at me intently as if he knew something had happened to him, but he only looked suspiciously. Did not say anything to me. That was the first and last thing that happened to me. I've never been to a place that was scary. Dad has given me the key to the room, but at the same time said, 'Your will, son. I lost my brother. You don't want to lose. My name is Jason. I am studying in 8th class. We live in a rural area where there is no electricity. I'm reading the lantern. My room is separated from my parents. I'm his only son. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone in my bedroom. There's someone in this room with me. One day I pulled my face out of my clothes. There was a dark thing in front of me. I was scared to see him. At first I thought I was just seeing it. Maybe it's my imagination. So I fell asleep. I couldn't sleep the second night. I thought about whether or not to take my clothes off. And then I finally saw it. Then the shadow was in the same place. I hid my face in my clothes. My whole body shivered. Then exactly 10 minutes later, when I looked up, the shadow was slowly coming towards my cot. I immediately put my face inside the cloth and took out the matchstick from my pocket and lit it. Don't show me anything in the room. But as soon as I turned the light toward the earth, I saw wet footprints on the ground. Now, I'm sure there's something what I see in my room. Sometimes it disappears. Then I fell asleep. It was morning. I removed the footprints. Don't look at my parents and don't think of me. I went to school today, but I didn't want to study. Tonight, I thought in advance that I would not hide my face in a cloth, no matter how cold I felt. I woke up in the room. After 11 o'clock, he again began to see the shadow. I quickly put out the fire. When I looked, I saw nothing, and then the same steps were on the ground as before. Then I looked at the window in my room. There was oil in the mirror, but my body was not visible in the mirror, and behind the lotus oil stood the same shadow. When I look back, I don't see anything. I quickly fell asleep in the room. When morning came, I went to the mirror first. Everything was all right now. I looked in the mirror. Then I looked at the place below, and there were wet footprints. Now, I'm sure I don't have any. There's someone else in my room, but I can't see them. In the morning, I went to school. I had a friend. I told him everything. At first, he didn't believe me. Is that what's happening? Then I said to my friend, "You listen to me. Come with me to my room tonight. Stay there and you'll know. I'm either true or false." It was night. I was no longer alone. My friend was also with me. Just as I was waking up, my friend also woke up. At 11 o'clock, he began to see the shadow. I said to my friend, "Look at that." My friend came close to it. He tried to hold her hand, but nothing came of it. Then I said to my friend, "Look at him in the mirror." The friend was amazed. "Why can't I look in the mirror?" Then I asked, "What do you see?" The friend said, "That shadow is coming towards me." My husband left the room in the middle of the night. He said, "There is a bad shadow in your room. I don't sleep in this room. My parents are awake." "Son, what happened?" "I was hiding from my parents, but my friend told me everything. My father said, 'Get your essentials out of the room.' We got our stuff out of the room. Then my father locked the room and said to both of them, 'Come, you will sleep in our room after today.' In the morning, my friend started telling the other classmates at school about what happened to us at night. After that night, my father did not open the room. Today, I am 24 years old. I sometimes say to my father, 'Father, open the lock of the room during the day.' But they still didn't listen to me. He says, 'If this is your stubbornness, I will break this room. I don't want to open this room because this room is a mess.' My brother slept in the room. Today, it has been more than 20 years. He doesn't know anything. I don't know where he went. There's something or someone in this room. At night, I slept. In the morning, the bed was in its place, but my brother Jack was not there. Son, I don't want to lose you like my brother. It's your wish ahead. This is the key of the lock. I will not forbid you to open this door or not." 9 years of fishing. For the first time, this fish was afraid of man. My name is Scott. I'm a fisherman in Biscay. My job is to fish in the sea. It's never been weird to me. I have 9 years of experience of catching fish from the sea. That is, I have seen different species of fish, but as usual on that day too, we set out in the morning with our boat to the sea. Everything went well, nothing out of the ordinary. We walked a little further, about 5 kilometers, to the place where we used to hunt before. We were now about 25 to 27 kilometers from the beach. It took us about 45 minutes or an hour. When we get there, we see another boat in front of us. We were a little far away. At first, they kept making sounds. When there was no answer, we thought, "Let's go to this boat. Let's see." As we approached the boat, we heard voices again, but this time there was no response. "Then there's the boy who goes hunting with me every day. Come on, look in that boat. There's someone inside, either or not." When my companion goes there, he calls me, "Teacher, there is no one. There are only fish in the boat." Then I got on the boat. I see why there is no one. The fish in the boat were also caught fresh. There was still life in the fish. That is, something happened to them 10 to 20 minutes before our arrival. Otherwise, the ordinary fish die in such a long time. Now we stopped for a while, but then tied this boat to our boat and started hunting at the same place. We hunted our prey, but let no man see us there. It was finally 1 a.m., and we were on our way home. When they reached the shore, they left the boat, took all the fish with them. But surprisingly, the fish were still alive. My friend and I were horrified by this. How can that be possible? Why are the fish still alive? What will be the case? Fish don't live that long. Then I decided to bite a fish and see what's inside it that doesn't die yet. When I pick up a fish, I see it's a fake. There was a small battery inside it, but I'm confused. How does it work? How do you catch fish in the sea? Then I asked all the fishermen about it. How can this be? And what is the ultimate truth? One of us, an elder in the boat, said, "Look, we all know there are fish in the sea, not the sea. But this is another matter as smuggling can be. I'll tell you, maybe that's it. But whether it is true or not, it should be thought that other people are taking this fish for some other purpose. They might have fought for some reason and fell into the sea. That's why the boat was alone. I think that might have happened here. All began to consider the words of the elders. It is true, it must have happened. Otherwise, would anyone bring a fake fish into the sea? But for a long time, the ship remained at sea. Then we went home at night. Sometimes, if it was late, some fishermen would sleep on their boat on the seashore. A fisherman said in the morning, "Friend, 2 cars came at night, as if they were breaking the same boat. When I saw it in the morning, the real matter was this. They have picked up something from this secret box, but what? It is not known. Actually, there was a secret box of this boat in a place where we did. No one can think that someone can make a secret box even under the boat. Then I took possession of the boat because whoever had the boat, they probably didn't need the boat anymore. They took their valuables. At the time I am writing this story, I still have that boat with me. But then there was no such incident with that boat that someone would say that this is our boat." The only student of mine whose every prediction came true, one day he predicted his own disappearance. When I went to his house to find him, there was no Joseph, only silent women, the stench of dung, and a secret that shook me. My name is Lucy, and I'm a teacher. There are many students in college, but there is one student who remembers things instantly. But that's not the only good thing about it. 99% of what he says so far is true. You think like me. Question: how can that be? How can you remember anything at all? It's impossible. And it's all true? Then one day he didn't come to school. 2 days didn't come, then 3 days. Just like that, he didn't come for a whole month. I asked the boys in college about it, but everyone said, "We don't know." One student said, "I know his home address. I met the student at his house. After college, I went to his house. When I entered the house seemed a little strange because it looked less like a house and more like a cattle farm. There was smoke everywhere. When I called out the boy's name, 'Joseph is at home,' no one answered first. Everyone was busy with their work, and it was all women who were doing so much service to the livestock. Then a grandmother was sitting on the cot. I went towards her and sat on the cot with her. Then the grandmother began to ask her, 'Grandma, Joseph is at home?' Grandmother said with a gesture of her hand, 'He is not and never came.' Grandma's gestures didn't seem right to me, like something bad happened to Joseph. I asked him, 'Where are you from?' Then a woman came to me," Grandmother said. So much answered, no less. Then she asked, "Who are you? Why do you ask about Joseph? What's your relationship with Joseph?" I said to the woman in her own language, "I am a college teacher. Joseph was a worthy student of mine, so I have come here to ask about him." Then the woman said, "Well then, you are Joseph's teacher?" I said in a low voice, "I am his teacher. What is wrong with him?" Then the woman said, "There is no Joseph here. You go." I was amazed and worried. I began to doubt the whole house. Something bad had happened to Joseph. Otherwise, how could the woman talk to me like this? I told all the students of my class about this incident, which happened to me when I went to Joseph's house. Then the same student stood up. "Teacher, Joseph is a good friend of mine, but he always says the same thing. I am a burden to the family because they keep telling me, 'What are you going to read?' Whatever you need for a job." He did not have parents. He lived at his maternal uncle's house, and completed his education. Then I said to the student, "Now sit down." Then I sat down in my chair and thought, what's going to happen to Joseph? Then I reported this to the police. This is what happened to Joseph. Then the police went to his house, began to investigate. "Where is Joseph? Let's talk soon." The women were now terrified. The police picked up all the women, except for the grandmother. When all the women were questioned, they said, "We sold Joseph. He was of no use to us." Then the police told me, "These oppressive women sold Joseph to another country for 15 lakhs. The police later produced them before the court. It was, "The whole story is about Joseph."